Guys, there was a small error. It was funny error, guys. The site was ours is a HTTP site. By default it is taking as HTTPS, so I just removed S and it started working, guys. And this is the S is something like, it's something like Bob certificate, so that's not an issue. Now as you can see, all our requests can be, if I can, maybe we can delete this. Now if I search for something in a site, we can see forget about this XSS, guys. It is the name which we have given. If you come down, you can see that particular, double click this one, we can see the request and response. Now what I'm gonna do is, there are two options now. What I can completely browse all the pages in the application here, like entering the username, passwords, and then try to check for the issues, or else I can give the website name itself directly, XSS is our website, right click and click on attack spider. That means it will crawl all the pages within the application. But I would suggest you guys to manually and submit all the fields within the browser first, and then you can start this scan. Now it will try to load all the files within the application, guys. Can you see? These are the files it has been loaded. In the application it will crawl. It is loading all the pages. Source these are out of scope, guys, because there are different domains, so that's the reason it is flagging out of scope. That's a good sign for us. Now it's good. If I want to check for cross scripting on particular page, which one is this? XSS, this get request, right click, attack, active scan, default policy. Why is not showing up? Like policy, okay. Start scan. So now it is scanning for the things on that particular page. And do we have any alerts? If you come to this tab, in the alerts tab, it should disclose the cross scripting issue. No, this is not an issue. It is something, the different header related setting it is saying. Information disclosure, web browser XSS protection is not enabled. X content type, no. Within the request, this is the request XSS. There was a file. Let me browse that file, search.h uday dot. Okay, maybe I did not enter any fields, guys, here, so that's the reason it was unable to find the cross scripting. See, this is the important thing to remember for you guys. Now what I'm gonna do is, first I'll try to delete the history, because it crawled all the other pages on the server, which is good. It has all the different issues are shown. We don't care that, we'll discuss that in the later stages. Now we only focus on XSS and how we can find easily. So for that, now search in that, I'm submitting something. Now this request with a parameter and parameter value is intercepted within the name, right? So now right click, attack, active scan. Using all the after very long time, so now it should work fine, guys. Can you see here? It is sending all the payloads to the parameters. Like I'm trying to enlarge, it is doing some fuzzing kind of testing, percentile 7c, percentile John kind of thing. If you see in the alerts, cross scripting reflected, so it is automatically found. Now you have to verify, is it a correct issue or not. For that, what you're going to do is here double click on this issue here, or else you can, sorry, yeah, you can click on this particular issue. You can see on the top the request, what it has sent. On the response, it is also showing this highlighted one. You can simply copy this URL and hit in the browser. It will show that it will show you one pop-up because this contains some payload. This is how easily you can check for cross-site scripting issue using Zap proxy, guys. Very important thing, two things is that you cannot use automation tools on the site directly because it will flood the database by storing all the junk parameters. Second thing is that you need to manually browse the, manually submit the form pages, otherwise Zap proxy cannot find the security issue. And also you need to browse each and every single page within the application. So that's the easiest approach to find. There are other tools are there, but we are spending too much of time on the cross-site scripting itself, guys. I just want to make sure that you become comfortable in all the different aspects, like using automation tool or using payloads on your own or manually. Now we know how to use the Zap tool. Whenever you come across any proxy related issues, see guys, whether you have to just remove this S word by default, because sometimes it is shows, or else restart the system once. The tool and the will be refreshed. The browser tool and the browser will be refreshed. Now we'll talk about the cross-site scripting in little in depth, guys. Now we have only checked for cross-site scripting on the form page itself, guys. Like easy. So what I mean to say, can we only check cross-site scripting on input fields? We can also check for cross-site scripting on the hidden form fields, guys. That is very important to know. And also it is not necessary for us to check for cross-site scripting on input fields itself, whether it's a text field or comment box. We can directly submit to the page itself like this: script alert 123 script. So if the website is weak, then the script will be executed and reflected back in the response, but for this it's not showing. So in the burp, if you could see in the burp, like active scan settings, what all the things, active scan settings, here what all the payloads it was sending, it is doing some fuzzing, it is sending some random payloads, guys. So I'll try to focus on script tags only, like it is sending this kind of script tags, and then it is seeing whether the data is reflected or not, zap x1 xs kind of thing. Once it was able to execute the script, then it was stopped checking for XSS, and it is trying to do other checks like passing single quote, SQL injection, which are different. So it is trying to send random payloads. Now what happens if you run the automation tool within the backend? You can also see that all the payloads which are sent in the GET request will be stored within the log files, like RAM64 logs, access.log. Oh my god, it is like very big, like 140 MB, because maybe we ran the automation tools or something. It has sent too many requests, that's the reason this particular file was flooded. So that's okay guys, I'm closing it because in the back end we are also recording. You can also check what all the payloads are sent by this particular software. As we can see, it is not checking for much payloads of cross-site scripting because it has already found cross-site scripting. If you use the intruder feature, we can able to send our own wish list. Like we can also check for 10,000 payloads at once on a particular parameter to see whether it is really vulnerable or not. Now show you an example of hidden form field cross-site scripting. Like let's say the website is taking before copying this, I'll go to this particular folder and I'll make a backup of these two files, XSS2. Okay, now I renamed these files. Okay, within this HTML field file I'm trying to create one hidden form field variable. Yeah, form field has variable and value. Now this particular form field, we are trying to take this particular, what is the hidden form field variable name guys? Here input type is equal to hidden, name is equal to cust id. Okay, now whenever we click the submit button, our input field values will be gone in the silently within the backend. I mean like this particular variable with value 3487 will be sent. Now the output, it should print as the hidden form field instead of our name. Let's assume now we develop the page which, why it is showing the kind of thing like xss2.html. It is accepting our username but printing not, sorry, it is sending to the search uday.php only. This is good thing guys. We are actually after changing we are entered the code, PHP code here, right? We have to give this particular file path. It's very cold here, that's why I'm feeling like little shiver. XSS2. Okay, now I'm just trying to prove that there are some, if there is a particular form which is sending the which is sending along with the name and hidden form field, if any website is printing the hidden form field value, then we can modify that and we can do that. How we can modify that? You know how to stop in the burp suite, right? Or else you can within the, if it is a get request, you can directly put the script tags here like script alert 123 script. The script is executed, that means the hidden form field is vulnerable too. So we are trying to modify the value which was already there to execute. Now let's see if burp is smart enough or not. Now sorry, zap is smart enough. I'll try to clear the history completely, delete the history and see, because if zap can do your job, you don't have to worry checking manually, right? Sorry, now I have to submit here, right? Let me delete once again. Delete. I'm trying to focus on only this particular request page. Okay, now this request is intercepted and I'll try to scan this particular page for the attack. Right, I'm selecting that particular page because it is showing the two parameter names in the brackets, customer ID and fname. Right click, attack spider, sorry not spider, right click, attack active scan. start scan. Within alerts, reflected process scripting, it is showing that customer ID is also vulnerable. Can you see, guys? Because this is the script tag sent by the burp suite itself. If you see this percentile 3c percentile 3 is something like, it is encoding. So if you search in Google for, like, if you send it to the browser, like, these are nothing but same itself. For example, like, percentile 3c is the URL encode for the particular ankle bracket. See, now the burp suite has done your job, guys. So it was able to select that. And let's do the some fuzzing also. Fuzzing means it will try to add the variables which does not exist for this kind of thing, like fuzzing, start fuzzer. Now which all the things we can, let's blindly let's start the fuzzer. No fuzzing, at least first location must be added to start the fuzzer. Okay, first location means, okay, let me in the place of this particular variable, no fuzz, just one location should be added. Maybe I'm using this. Okay, got it, guys. Okay, now I think I should be clicking on add or something. Add strings. No, what is this, man? Okay, we'll see about this. There are lots of other tools which can be done easily. So this is the approach which you can use as a beginner. So this is the, like, this how you find the cross scripting, guys.